is Shadowrun Hong Kong, episode 7. Your payment is stashed. I confess that I am very pleased with your work. It's not every runner who could have pulled off a job of this magnitude. Well done. Kanji Cheng is in the midst of emptying 2 plastic shopping bags when you enter. She places the contents in a pile of her mahjong table. 2 liquor bottles without labels, a box of her thin black cigars, an assortment of individual wrapped gourmet chocolates, and a large caliber pistol with electric tape wrapped around its grip. Ah, good, you're here. She finishes with the plastic bags and throws them on the floor. It seems like forever since we saw each other. You said you had information to share in person. Here I am. Her voice is filled with rusty energy. Yes, my darling, yes. I met with several contacts within my network who referred me to other in neighboring cities. Regardless of how far technology moves forward, tradition demands that things be handled face to face. I have returned with information that would lead you to the plastic faced man, the man who killed Raymond Black. Excellent. While you were gone, we uncovered a relationship between Josephine Tsang and Raymond Black. The tried woman's eyes narrow. Did you? And what was it you uncovered? The man who raised us isn't Raymond Black. He's Edward Tsang, the son of Josephine Tsang. You were raised by Josephine's son, her brother Furrow. That explains where Edward went when he disappeared years ago, Seattle. Any idea why he disappeared? No, just that he went missing after Josephine completed rebuilding the walled city. That was in the early 30s. Her face twists in a mask of disgust. You realize that this means, don't you, my sweet? That inbred little goat whore was cold enough to have her own son executed. Even more reason to find the plastic-faced man. What have you found out? Everything you need to move forward. She grabs a bottle and opens it. I know the identity of the plastic-faced man. His name is Li Tai Lung, and he's an independent contractor, a trusted, deniable asset who handles all of Josephine Tsang's more delicate operations, off the books and away from the public eye. The plastic-faced man is her shadowy right hand outside of the corporation. Sheng doesn't bother with the glass. She takes a long pull of the stinking bottle and wipes her mouth with the back of her hand. I know how to find him too. I made contacts with an information broker, Xiaoxi, who works out of the abandoned night market in Shek Kip Mei, called the Xing House Court. It's not hard to find. She takes another pull on the bottle. Xiaoxi has gained access to the plastic-faced man's complete itinerary. Where he'll be, who he'll be with, what sort of security he'll have, the works. She grins, glassy-eyed. You can use it to perform an extraction, grab him, and find out what he knows. Got it. Go to Shek Kip Mei, look for a night market called Xing House Court, and find an information broker called Xiaoxi. Yes, it's all very straightforward, until it's not. Li Tai Lung has designed himself to be a perfect corporate operative. He's installed a unique piece of headwear. You see, it allocates and compartmentalizes client-related memories so that they can be erased upon the completion of a job. As an added security measure, this crucial implant will wipe his memories if it detects that he's been captured. So we need a way to circumvent the implant. Exactly. Unless you can find a way around the crucial implant, you'll have no way to extract the information he has and figure out what happened to Raymond Black. She circles the mouth of the bottle with her finger. Now, I've done my part in this, my darling. You need to find a way to neutralize that device. Isabel interjects, her voice breaking slightly as she speaks. I know a way. I've heard of something like this before. I met someone in the Matrix who had to shirk a similar memory wipe implant once. It was a requirement for a big job, and she pulled it off. Keep talking. Her handle is Dreamland, and I know where to find her. All that we have to do is convince her to give up the secrets of how she did it. Okay, Isabel, I will go see Dreamland before we hit the information broker. Then we grab the plastic-faced man. No matter who you choose to help you snatch this guy, I'm gonna be there when you extract the information from him about Raymond. Will crosses his arms across his chest and tilts his head towards you. You got it, Arnold? We should all be there. Goblet's eyebrow arc high. I know that I want to see this. Very good, my darlings. Now listen to me. After you get what you need from the plastic-faced man, I want you to end him. You understand? The trial boss taps the table with their finger. I need to send a very clear message that this is what happens when you mess with Kindly Shang's operations, with Kindly Shang's people. Josephine takes Nightjar. I take her plastic-faced man. Once you snatch the plastic-faced man, Sang will know something is happening, and events will unfold very quickly after that. You'd best close out any pressing businesses you have before heading to Shek Kip Mei to see Xiaoxi. Do you understand? Once I snatch the plastic-faced man, I turn off the lights in the Shadowrun store and lock the door. Check. Such a colorful way of saying it. Kindly Shang raps on the mahjong table with an imitation ivory tile. Just be sure your affairs are in order before you head to see the information broker. A quick glance around the shop reveals an unusual level of untidiness. The whole place is covered in books, sprawled across the floor, and piled high atop tables, chairs, and desks. The shopkeeper peers at you from behind the tower of loosely stacked text, her eyes red and wary. Welcome, I don't believe we met. The name's Crafty. Excuse me? She sees you eyeing the paperback chaos. Ah yeah, sorry for the mess. I've been real busy. What? Okay. It's fine, name's Lusope, by the way. There's a motivation behind this mess. We already have this. Crafty, you're in. You're shuffling paper. An arm rolls out from under a pile of blankets and books, and Crafty raises her head. A notebook spread open on top of it. The book topples to the floor. Oh hey, her voice cracks. Yeah, that question is all a mess. Then, yeah, whatever. Time to automate Dreamrun. Travel to the MV Nulchi and steal the data and tissue samples. Alright, I have one more side mission. Captain Yomo is busily playing with some kind of gambling game on his comlink. It beeps and flashes as he taps away. Come on, Yomo, win, not lose. Maybe buy yourself that new hat. It doesn't appear to have noticed you at all. The game makes a sad, defeated noise. Yomo curses under his breath, nose wrinkling in disgust. Finally, he seems to notice you. Stupid game, always. It cheats me. Never a good hand. Now, can Li Shang send you? La? You need Captain Yomo to take you to play pirate. Head to the MV Nulchi. That's right. Oh fuck, now I forgot to buy an assault rifle again. The ride out to the Nulchi is nerve-wracking. Captain Yomo seems an expert pilot, but massive waves threaten to scuttle this small boat at every turn. Deep thunder rolls in the distance, and at the edge of your vision, lightning occasionally illuminates your target, the MV Nulchi. As Yomo pulls your small craft directly up to the boat of the Nulchi, where you're least likely to be spotted, he throws a rope ladder up over the side, hustling you aboard before pulling away. Time to get to work. Lifting his nose into the rain, Gaishu tastes the air with his tongue. He carefully turns his head, mouth open to catch the most noise. I hear nothing but the storm, and I smell no adrenaline in the air. I believe we have arrived undetected. We want to keep low and stay behind cover. Gaishu clicks his tongue a few times, and then bares his teeth in a rictus grin. This storm is making it nearly impossible for me to hear. It will be much worse for the security on the ship. They most likely will not notice us if we stay out of sight. If we are seen, they will be forced to use wired alarms, as the storm will make using their radios next to impossible. Gaishu rests a hand on the hilt of his sword and takes a hissed breath over clenched teeth. We should hit them with all possible speed before they can rouse the rest of the ship. This is a simple interface for the Nulchi's above-deck systems. Drainage, running lights, water pressure and cameras. Most of the systems seems to be basic enough that you wouldn't be able to do much with them. The camera feeds don't appear to be being broadcast to the bridge. They're being straight to recording. With a little work, you could change that and get a better view of the deck. Rewire the camera feeds to gain access. A few moments later, you've rebooted the top deck cameras and patched them over to your comlink. Nobody on the ship will know, but you have a great view of the guards. It looks like these cameras are isolated from the below deck cameras, however. To gain access to those, you'll have to get inside the ship. Okay. I didn't even see any of those. What? As you creep down onto D-deck, the ship is eerily quiet. The sound of the withering storm is muted to low moans of wind and shuddering vibrations when lightning strikes. Collecting yourself, you listen carefully for any other sound. Nothing. Your presence on the ship appears to be as yet unnoticed. Squeezing water out of ropes of hair, Gobet nods in satisfaction. Nicely done. We're almost to the goods, and the rest of the ship got no idea we're here. Fighting down here will definitely get their attention, though. Let's play it smart. We'll get the goods, radio our pickup, and get out. Let's take it slow. No mistakes this far in. Keep your eyes open, Seattle. We've gotten this far by being careful. No reason to change that now. I'd like to get home without any extra lead in my body. This panel's door is hanging open, the wires inside sparking occasionally. It looks like someone was recently in the process of working on the cabling, but was called away. This might provide useful access to ship systems. Searching through the wires and cables, it looks like someone was in the process of upgrading the internal camera system for the Nalchi. They've left the wires exposed. Anyone with basic electronics knowledge could patch their comlinks into their feed. Rewire the camera feeds. You definitely rewire the panel's electronics, and shortly thereafter your comlinks begin receiving the ship's camera feed. This is a control panel for the ship's water pumps and fire suppression system. The knobs and switches here can cut off or supply water to anywhere on the ship with an outlet. The readouts indicate that fire suppression system doesn't have any safety locks engaged on it. By adjusting the pressure, you could flood the hallways leading to this deck, slowing down any guards trying to reinforce the area. This would certainly set off a ship-wide alarm and draw every available guard to your position, however. Let's call that Plan B, for fuck's sake. Right, that was the wrong one. Why does it say he's immune? Let's go there. Eastern Tiger File OS 221. Development Diary. Project Overview. Initial research into metagenetic presents a singular challenge, to wit, the study not of genes themselves, but on the interactions between genetics and the unseen world of the astral space. If the creation of a particular metatype or magically expressed phenotype was as simple as the recombination of given amino acid sequences, then the creation of mages would be as simple as the expression of a given eye color or skin tone. Unfortunately, such expressions are far more complex. The expression of traits previously considered to be supernatural is a complex interplay between mundane DNA and the condition of the ambient manosphere at the time of development, and the interactions between genes and what we have dubbed astral shadows. Any research into these is fraught with difficulty due to their resistance to traditional, that is to say, technical instruments. Ergo, Omega Sequence 358G is a project decoupled from the usual safeguards against project overruns. We have been granted extensive medical assistance in our pursuit of higher metagenetic understanding, as well as autonomy from legal concerns. As such, Omega Sequence Project materials must be kept in Eastern Tiger security facilities only. Deviation from this may result in local law enforcement interest, and subsequent cleanup costs can be prohibited. Phenotypic alteration. Phenotypic alteration is the key process which allows for the Omega Sequence project to progress. Ordinarily, an organism's phenotype is set and cannot be changed after a very early point in development. Morphology, phenology, replication processes. Any alteration in the coding sequences of a living organism is invariably fatal, except in the case of Omega Sequence. A combination of alkylating agents, ambient mana control, and potent alpha emitters allows us to control the replication of the Omega Sequence mutagen. This is accomplished through alteration of the interactions between DNA and their astral shadows, the building blocks of metagenetics and mana-based abilities. To understand this concept, consider an Indonesian shadow play. The story one watches is not of the puppets, but the shadows they cast. A skillful puppeteer manipulates not just the puppets, but the space between the screen and the viewer. So too is it with the metagenetics. Magical aptitude, metagenetic traits, and formerly unknown parazoology are revealed when mana levels reach a sufficient point to allow the astral shadows of DNA to engage in their delicate and powerful dance of replication. To change the metagenetics of an organism, we do not manipulate only the subject's DNA, but the space between the DNA and the astral plane. We cast the prerequisite shadows, and then engendering change that cannot be explained solely by base pairs, alleles, and nucleoids. Control is our challenge. Control is the delicate art. It requires patience and perseverance, as well as scientific acumen. But with a fine enough degree of control, we will be able to replicate magical abilities, trait expression, and black swan effects. Download the data. You download data, wiping all traces of it from the computer. So where we go? Same way we came, or what? Yeah, it looks like it. the tissue samples, okay? Where the fuck are those? The cold storage tank and attendant machinery are lit from within the organic soup by flickering baleful light. The tank contains Omega Sequence 3358G, chugs quietly with the hum of pumps and coolants. As you look at the tank, the fluid shifts and there is a soft thump as the mass of organic matter drifts up against the glass. A pale, lidless eye stares at you from within the tank. The face it resides in is a ruined mass of tumors and scabrous pustules, a mutated mass of teeth and indeterminate growths dominating what should be the nose and mouth region. As you look, it fixes its lone eye upon you, the pupil flickering back and forth as it tracks your motion. Gobbet gasps and quickly slaps a palm against the tank. She peers at it intently for a few seconds, and a deep shudder rolls through her body. She turns to you, her voice barely above a whisper. Dystopia, this thing's live. I don't think it's intelligent, but it's definitely living, despite being mostly made of cancer and disease. Curious, this creature does not appear to be in pain, despite the rampant disease that runs through it. Gaichi leans closer, his blind eye obviously focusing on the astral body beyond the mundane vision. The aura appears metahuman, but different somehow. Gobbet glares at Gaichi, her nostrils flaring. I don't care if it's not in pain. Nibbles, this thing deserves to be put to rest, being forced to live like this. Take samples and turn off power. After a few moments of worrying, a small drawer opens to present you with a rack of vials. Each one contains a scrap of tissue. You power down the machinery. The lights in the vat dim, and the creature slowly closes its single eye. At the last hum of power fades, the creature drifts away from the glass. With the data and tissue samples secured, you are ready to make your exit from the Nulchi. Pulling you your comlink, you dial Captain Jomo. The Malaysian orc's face springs to life on your comlink. This tusky maw spreads in a grin. Jomo is listening. You ready for pickup, my friend? We're standing by and have eyes on the ship. Make it fast. Things might heat up. Easy, La. We'll be there in a few minutes. Be ready, right where we drop you off, friend. With that, Yomo disconnects the call. In a few minutes, the only thing between you and Hong Kong will be the open ocean. The last detail is to inform the Johnson everything is complete and have him transfer payment. You rapidly dial the number kindly Shang gave you to Taigath. The elf on the screen has the bearing of someone with no time for pleasantries, and his tone is flat when he speaks. This is Taigath, his task done. My cargo is heavily guarded, but we're done. As long as you have the samples and data, that's all I care about. Unfortunately, there's been a complication. I can't transfer you your payment until we meet in person. I've had a tail on me since I arranged the run with Candy Shang. I think the Soul Pass have caught up to me and are watching to see what I'm up to. I can shake the tail, but I need to ensure my safety before this is done with. I can help with that, but it'll cost you. Taggart grimaces, but nods his head in agreement after a few seconds. I'll pay whatever it takes to get them off my back. If I can't, my family's still dead. I have a safe house in Ho Chung village that I set up before landing here. Meet me there. Call me when you're close and I'll shake the tail. As long as we get it handled in a hurry, I should be clear to get out of Hong Kong. I guess we don't have much choice. I'm sorry about all this, I really am. You disconnect the call and pocket your comlink. Things just got a whole lot more complicated. Gobbet folds her arms over her chest, rocking back on her heels. Ugh, what a crook of shit. Are we really gonna help this guy out? This isn't our problem. If we want to get paid, we'll have to. Fine, I guess. We kinda have to. But I want you to know I will be very surly about it. As you start to move away from the Omega Sequence cargo, you realize your comlink is buzzing with an incoming call. Pulling it back out of your pocket, you answer. The caller's expression is pleasant, but there is a level of unspoken menace in his eyes, the glint of a killer. Good evening, Dystopia. My name is Wang Jaimin, and I represent the Blue Haven Solpa ring. I've just became aware that you are in possession of data and tissue samples from Project Omega Sequence 358G. I would like those samples, and I'm willing to pay for them. I'm not in the habit of backing out of a deal. Nor would I expect you to, given your exceptionally swift rise in the shadow community of Hong Kong. I understand. What I am asking of you is I do not do lightly, but I am privy to information that you are not, and I think I could be of use, and I could be of some use to you. Please do me the honor of hearing me out. I understand you are an associate of Canli Sheng. My own organization is far too trivial to have attracted her notice, but I believe you can help me change that. Merely doing business with you will increase our standing a great deal, and since I have information that may save your life, perhaps we can come to an arrangement. What do you mean, save my life? The Blue Haven ring has been retained by Eastern Tiger in order to prevent the theft of Omega sequence data and samples, the very thing you have just taken. Your employer, whose full name is Tygath Wright, has been attempting to acquire them for some time. The entire reason the data and samples are being shipped to Seoul is because of a botched Shadowrun, one on the Eastern Tiger facility in Tacoma, where the project was being developed. Tygath Wright was the Johnson for that run. Your employer is not who he says he is, nor are his motives pure. He was never employed by Eastern Tiger and has no family in Seoul. As near as I have been able to determine, he is an agent of Tir Ternger Information Secretariat. A spy, if you will. What's a Tir elf doing hitting Eastern Tiger? I'm not certain, but I suspect that the Council of Princes has an interest in suppressing research into elven longevity. Every scientist working on the question of potential elven immortality has been disgraced or disappeared, except for those employed by Eastern Tiger. I suspect that the elves have secrets they'd rather not have the rest of the world know. Wrights attempted to intercept Eastern Tiger's cargo at every port it's landed at. The strike on Tacoma was only the first. There was a second attempt in Perth, and a third near the Ryu Island, against the very ship you're now on. Don't think for a moment that Wright will hesitate to kill you as soon as you hand the data over to him. So what do you say? I pay you for the data you have, and both of us can eliminate Wright and whatever hired guns he's brought along. I think this is fair arrangement. I don't believe you. Those experiments are horrible. Wang's expression darkens and his tone grows cold. I'd hope we'll be able to come to an agreement, but if you refuse to see reason, bullets may prove a more effective argument. No one crosses the Blue Haven ring and lives. Your death will be an object lesson in that. Well, I think you've made a new friend, Dystopia. I think he's unwittingly just gotten in far over his head. Our rep speaks for itself. Let's get back to Hong Kong. You put your comlink away and check the time. Captain Yomo should be arriving any minute. Time to head back to Hong Kong and what awaits. The boat ride back to Hong Kong is tense. Even Captain Yomon's jovial nature does little to lighten the mood. The deep storm swirls in the sky behind you, and although you've accomplished your mission, you wonder what is in store once you reach Ho Shang village. What will be waiting for you in Ho Shang? Who will betray whom? And most importantly, how can you survive the night and still get paid? You're certain these mysteries will be revealed, but how you'll learn the answers could be deadly. The Hoshang MTR station is a testament to high-class design left to rot over a period of 15 years. Smelling of stale urine and mold, this stop has seen better days. With any luck, you'll be able to wrap the job and leave Hoshang before the sun's fully up. Gaishu runs a fingernail over the glittering edge of his sword before turning to face you. You realize, of course, that Wang is going to be lying in wait for us, yes? That he will try to kill us and steal the data before or during the handoff. Of course you do. It is plain as day. He seems to know how to play the game. Absolutely, and the best way to play when you've been dealt the hand he has is to strike from stealth and bring overwhelming force to bear. He knows who we are and what we can do, and that means he'll attack with whatever forces he can muster. We should take it slow on in Ho Chang, look around, get a sense of the place. Otherwise, we may walk blindly into the hornet's nest. The street vendor is hawking obviously cheap junk he probably bought in bulk from an outlet. Charms, trinkets, and small toys litter his stall. He waves his arms excitedly, drawing you over. Hey friend, come, look at my wares. Many fine souvenirs for you. No thanks, but have you seen any suspicious around here? What other than you? The junk vendor leans back against the stall, tilting his chin upwards. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. What can you do for me? Here's some money. What have you seen? The vendor greedily snatches the cred stick from your palm, turning it over and caressing it like a raccoon with a shiny coin. Yes, good. Thank you very much, my friend. There were some mercenaries moving through here earlier. Big guns, nasty expressions. I think they were from outside of Hong Kong. I didn't understand the words they were saying. I didn't see how many there were. Less than 10, but enough to be a crowd. The junk vendor goes back to organizing his shop, nodding in your direction. Anyone starts shooting, keep it away from my stall, eh? I don't want any trouble. The street vendor is hawking both traditional Chinese medical supplements and modern trauma kits alike. Feeding down, ginkgo biloba in bulk, gada cut, dock wagon, first aid kit, plenty of disinfectant. Show me what you have. I'd like some information, actually. Oh yeah, what do you want to know? I see a lot from this stall. You see anyone strange lurking around here? Yeah, I saw this gangster type move through here. Real nasty looker, you know. He had this crew trailing along behind him. They were all speaking Korean too, which is why I thought it was strange. I don't speak much Korean, but I know around here the triad rules the roost. Thanks. This is an LTG access jack, used for maintenance and diagnostics. A decker could use this to check recent traffic cameras, adjust grid guide and power flow, and manipulate basic utilities in the local area. Jack in. Fuck. Okay, here we go. Bang, bang. Tired right. Are you and your men ready yet? I have a timetable to keep. Tsunami Captain, don't rush me. You hauled my team halfway across the world for this little adventure of yours, and we've just gotten off the plane. The contract says we'll be ready by 0300 hours, and we will. In the meantime, get the hell off my back. Tiger's expression is one of barely restrained anger, his hands ball up into fist. You better be, you little toad. This is a matter of national security for Tyr Ternger, and given that you're billing me, I expect nothing but perfection. The mercenary commander is utterly unimpressed by Tygat's impotent rage. Spare me, that kind of line might work on rank-and-file troops, but this isn't my first day on the job. Without my troops, you'd be stuck hiring local scrubs with zip guns. As it is, I'm here because my boss likes your brother. The elf's eyes narrows to razor slits, and he jabs a finger towards the mercenary. Just be ready, mercenary. I paid you for your time and for the duration of this mission. I expect your loyalty as well. I'll do my job, right? That's what you're paying me for. You do yours. I want to get out of this forsaken pit and catch the next flight back home. Okay, so that was it. The powerful troll watches you impassively as you approach. Her expression is unchanging. You look like you're the kind of person who might be interested in some hardware. You got a need, I can give you a solution. Your game? Show me what you got. Crappy assault rifles. Okay. How about some information? Anybody strange hanging around tonight? The troll eyes you impassively, taking a long time to ponder before speaking. 215 yen and I'll tell you everything I know. Here you go. The vendor pockets the cred stick without even looking at it. Much obliged. I saw some tsunami mercenaries arming up further down the canal. Drove right by them as they were strapping on armor and checking their guns. They didn't look particularly happy to be here, but I don't blame them. This is combat, Ink's backyard, and they wouldn't be welcome here. You got business with them. Keep it away from my van. Gaiji cocks his head, lips peeling away from his teeth. Tsunami is a name I'm familiar with. A Japanese private military firm, very large and very capable. If they're in the streets of Hoshang, somebody has paid very good money for them. The troll shrugs. I don't know what they're doing out in Hoshang, and I don't really care, so long as I don't get shot at. Looked like a protection detail, though. I didn't catch how many there were, but it was less than 10. They're well geared, but they didn't look like they had anything heavier than rifles or a grenade launcher. The power cabling here is deeply frayed, threatening to arc into the puddles of water below. Kind of funny that it didn't strike up a conversation automatically there. Doesn't seem to be a lot I can do here. Ah, fuck's sake. Taggart fidgets nervously as you approach him. His entire body is tense, and his eyes flicker rapidly around the market, as if searching for unseen threats. As he notices you, he relaxes somewhat, but only a small amount. Oh, thank God you're here. I'm at my wit's end, and I could swear that I'm being watched everywhere I go. He continues to glance nervously around. I don't like being out here. It's too exposed. In the distance, a police siren wails. Tiger's hand dives into his jacket, but as the wailing recedes, he relaxes again. Listen, did you bring the stuff? The faster I can get that stuff and leave Hong Kong, the faster I'll be. Geiger cackles and lays a hand on the hilt of his katana. You stink of fear, little man. Calm yourself. If a threat arrives, we'll deal with it for you. Taggart stops fidgeting, takes a breath and nods. Okay, I'm calm. Can we just get this over with? You have bigger problems. Your comlink's been hacked. Taggart swears under his breath, wiping a hand over his damp forehead. Shit, what? That must be how the soul pass have been staying on me the whole time. You should have been more careful. Right, obviously. The elf gestures at you impatiently. Well, hand over the data and samples, and you can get paid. Then we can all go home safely. Reactor fixes Taggart with a suspicious glare. Not just yet. None of this makes logical sense, you realize? What about your family? Publishing the data. Your concerns have changed to a remarkable degree. Taggart fidgets nervously, regarding you with suspicion. What do you mean by that? It means we know you're from 13 Gare, you son of a bitch, and we know you've been trying to get this shit since Tacoma. What? A bunch of crazy psychopaths spin a story about me, and you're gonna believe them? Your story just doesn't add up, Taggart. You're lying to me. The elf's expression abruptly changes. His fear washes away, abruptly replaced by cold professionalism. His fidgeting ceases, almost instantaneously. I see. Well, now that the cat's out of the bag, I need to figure out what to do about this snarl. Goblet has an evil glint in her eye as she leans towards Taggart. No sudden moves. I'm feeling awful nervous. You move too quick. Accidents can happen. Don't be melodramatic. I'd rather avoid bloodshed, if it can be helped. If you're amenable, the deal can proceed as planned. I'm a professional. I'm still here to get paid. Well, that's good. I'd hate to think you'd suddenly develop sour grapes over a little white lie. What do you intend to do about the soul pass? Before you can answer, a shout rings out. Yeah, what are you gonna do about me? You think I'm just gonna let you hand this off without a fight? Nah, that's not happening. I tell you what, I'm still gonna let you walk out of here alive. I'll pay you for the data and let you live. Not the elf though, he dies. Don't you get the hint? I'm not interested in your pitch. I am Wang Jae-min. I command the Blue Haven Ring. Wang squares his shoulders, pulling a submachine gun to bear on you. I'm not about to let some two-bit Shadowrunner scorn me like you did. I'll make you one final offer. You give me the data and samples. Help me kill this elf. In exchange, I'll let you walk out of here alive. As you're distracted, Taggart puts one hand on to his ear and utters a single sentence. Move in a secured area. There is a sudden sound of running boots on concrete. In a split second, you glance over the elf's shoulder. He is in motion. Magical energy begins to arc around Wright's hands. What now then? It seems we're at an impasse, and I'm not about to go back to Portland empty-handed. I'm finishing the job. To hell with the soul pass. A thin smile spreads over Taigat's face, and he nods in satisfaction. Good, you made the right choice. Let's have this done then. System trace straight up. Hey you mage fuck, don't shoot fireballs at my dudes. Where the fuck does those guys come from? There's water right there, isn't it? Seems bad. Turning towards you, the elf inclines his head. Shall we finish this then? You give me the goods, and I will wire you your fee when I'm safely away. Sure, here you go. Tyler takes the samples and data from you, nodding in satisfaction. A pleasure, Dystopia. I will be certain to recommend you to anyone who asks after reliable freelancers. Good evening. Wild one. The job is done, right or wrong. You gave Tygas Right the data he was looking for and got paid for it, although admittedly it was a pittance compared to what you were promised. A job's a job though, heoi, and further work awaits. 'Hey Dystopia, here are those notes you asked for. But before you dive in, a heads up. They're a complete transcription of that list from my mother's journal. As in, there are thoughts and ramblings of an insane woman. It's an easy read. 1,000. Fuck, the rewards for the missions are fucked in this game. I appreciate your conviction in sticking with the job, despite the complications involved. You've definitely earned some money on this job. Fairlight Excalibur. Three space, 6 programs. I thought there was 7 programs. Okay. So sniffer. $32. Great. Guess I'm stuck with this fucking sniper rifle then. Vindicator minigun. Strength 5. Yeah, I don't really have strength 5. Okay, so 2000. Yeah, let's do it. Go meet her Dreamland and see what she knows. The tenements that Dreamland lives in smells of mold and desperation. The people living here are the kind who don't want to be found. Okay, this is the right place, Sophia. Emily should be in the first apartment. Shalom? Should be. Haven't heard anything about her having company. I distantly remember hearing about some old boyfriend who might still be in the mix, even if he isn't here in Hong Kong. I do know that she's in danger, though. There are a bunch of big money XX who are holding a grudge over some activities that she's used to be into. Emily's from Berlin, but she moved to Hong Kong after the F state collapsed. The Schockenwellenreiter, that's the group that she worked for, were supposed to protect her, but they've got their own problems to deal with now. I guess that she decided she'd be safer on her own. I heard about the fall of the F-state. Sounded like chaos. That's what I heard too. An experiment in sustained institutional anarchy. Great environment for a Shadowrunner, but it ended up just like communism did. Another pipe dream. The German government gave the corporations the go-ahead to invade, and they forced the anarchists to retreat to the eastern part of the city. Now Berlin's run by corps, just like Hong Kong. I bet they wind up building a wall again. Wouldn't put it past them. Anything else we should know before we talk to Dreamland? No clue, really. I've never met her in meat space. Just be your charming self, I guess. I'm sure that everything will work out just fine. The apartment is no better than the hallway. Empty fast food cups and packages of dried snack food are strewn about the room. In the corner, a box of cat litter sits filled to overflowing. You don't see any cats. There's a patched together matrix terminal sitting on a stack of crates, connected to a banged up cyberdeck. Within arm's reach of a cyberdeck is a 20-something woman with pale white skin, dirty blonde hair, and a bleak expression. Emily looks at the deck slung across Isabel's back. So you're Isabel, huh? I didn't expect a dwarf. Isabel coughs nervously. Yeah, I get that a lot. No, I didn't expect you to be so pretty. The woman has a soft German accent and a dour disposition. I should never have agreed to this, Isabel, she groans. I should never have even responded to your message. If the oligarch swine who've been hunting me find out where I am. They call me Dystopia. We should talk. This is the man I told you about. He needs the software that you developed to inhibit your cortical implant. He needs what? Her tone is sharp. Her eyes flash daggers at Isabel. I don't think I should be getting into this. I have a business proposition I'd like to discuss with you. I don't know, man. I'm kinda done with the business. She pulls out a nearly empty pack of German cigarettes and lights the last one. In case you're not up to current events, I've got a kick line of mercs and bounty hunters after me. Messing around with the hardware that the Shock and Weller writer installed in me is the last thing on my mind. Look, this is important. I need the software you created so I can find out what happened to my father. Your father, huh? Sounds rough. Is he dead? Maybe he's missing, that's for sure. She softens. Been there. Or something like that. It's the ambiguity that kills you. She considers for a moment. Okay, give me a minute. Emily grabs a cyberdeck and jacks into it. Her jaw goes slack and her fingers hover over the keyboard, tapping keys at the blinding speed. When she finishes, she jacks out and ejects a data stick from the deck. Here, she hands you the stick and a taser gun with masking tape wrapped around the grip. Modify this taser with it and use it on your target. The jolt should stop the memory wipe before it starts. Thank you. Don't mention it, she sighs. I wish every problem was that easy to solve. Neural inhibitor. Go to check Kip May and acquire the plastic faced man's itinerary. Hiring prerequisite Rex. You must bring the neural inhibitor, not fulfill. Yeah, okay. How do I equip shit then? Is I have to actually go and... that's annoying. Go to the boat just to equip the fucking thing. Oh, is it an item? Oh, okay. I see. Check if there's some more missions or not. Fire was hard as fuck to make money in the third game. I did every single mission I could and grabbed every single piece of extra cash on the missions. One sec, grab more coffee. Isabel has modified the taser to introduce Dreamland's cortical inhibitor program into the plastic-faced man's neural network. That should stop his headwear from completing a memory wipe and allow you to interrogate him for information about Raymond Black. But first, you'll need to find him. Kindly Shang's made contact with an underground information broker named Xiaoxi, who has managed to obtain the plastic-faced man's complete itinerary. With it, you can choose the time and place to perform an extraction and find out what he knows. Xiaoxi works out of an abandoned night market in Shek Kip Mei, the Qing House Court. Qing House Court, top floor. was in the back, going through. The dwarf is the queen of her little hive, a nattering swarm of snitches, stoolies, and spies. Avarice gleams in her eye. They dart around you, taking in morsels of information so quickly they appear to vibrate. She mumbles little mnemonic rhymes to herself as she tags and labels you all. Ah, yes, the new on the scene runner, Dystopia. She rocks in place, humming a soft reply to herself. My friend in Heoi said you'd be coming to see me. I have a friend too, and she says you're the one to see about finding Li Tai Lung. Oh, yes, I am, definitely I am. Xiaoxi's eyes widen with the joy of her job, and she hums her little hum. Very timely intel, very timely. I have his complete, up to the minute itinerary, where he'll be, who he'll be with, security coverage, and the deluxe package. Dackage. How much for this deluxe dackage? Unfortunately, the deluxe package is no longer for sale, nor is any information about him, so sorry. Xiaoxi expression oozes with cunning. I received another offer, a better offer, to take it off the market just before you arrived. From whom? Li Tai Lung's client. I believe you know the company. She fumbles with her fingers a bit. I feel really bad about this, but the offer was too good to pass up. Way too good. Did Kindly Sheng set me up? No. You don't want to work with Josephine Zhang. That's the thing, Dystopia, I do. Attaching myself to her is smart, very smart. Zhang's big in Hong Kong and getting bigger. She's already on the executive council and is a frontrunner for the next chairperson position. So she fumbles with the fingers a little more. She can't make eye contact with you, and all I need to do is make sure you don't walk out of here alive. Ambush. The comlink clicks to life. It's Isabel. Have you met with the information broker yet? Josephine Sang got to her first. I had to put her down. Sang got to her. Then she knows we're close to the plastic-faced man. Plug your PDA into Xiaoxi's computer and I'll scan it for anything we can use. Plug your PDA into the computer. This won't take long. The data is already indexed. She pauses, accesses a few files, does some searches. It looks like this itinerary tells us everything he's going to be for the next 24 hours. We have the upper hand here. Let's play it safe and keep it that way. Sounds good to me. She pauses, accesses a few files, does some searches. First, the bad news. He's got a security detail that drives him from place to place. 6 corporate agents plus the driver. Anytime he's on the move, he's in a reinforced bulletproof limo. He's also got a personal bodyguard that's with him at all times. But there are some windows of opportunity we can take advantage of. When he's going someplace, they drop him off and leave him in the hands of local security, if any. The bodyguard stays behind, but the other 6 guards stay with the driver. The detail itself is shared by a few executives, so they will be with someone else until his next pickup time. The convoys are a schedule managed by the master system of Sang HQ. Okay, I've got 3 good leads here. I think we can run an extraction on any one of these. Number 1, the parking garage at Central Plaza. He's there for a meeting in an hour. We can grab him on the way out. Still secured corporate properties, so there will be resistance, but it's the weakest out of the corporate properties he visits. Plus side, there won't be any civilians, access is limited, and he's listed as a VIP in their systems. Not bad, enclosed space means he can't run. Interesting, next lead. Next one is a bit personal. Mr. Plastic has a mistress, visits her twice a week. Today's the day. He'll be at the Fa Yuan Tower building for 2 hours. It's not corporate property, but it's privately owned. The management company has a security contract on it, so it's likely we'll have a fight on our hands trying to get out of there with him in tow. It'll be less crowded than the parking garage, but the lady might complicate things. Better than the last one, but security on a building like the Fa Yuan Tower is still no joke. Alright, what's the last location? We have to grab him before he gets home tonight. Once he's home, we're screwed. He's staying in the Tsang Executive Arcology, guarded 24/7 by corporate security and 2 blocks from the HKPF headquarters. The final location we could grab him is his last stop for the evening. It's a locally owned public Simpsons theater, a hole in the wall that specializes in underground horror flicks. He's there for an hour and 45 minutes, and his security detail will be all the way across town to pick someone else up. We'll probably have to deal with local police only, but this is a public theater. It's going to be packed with regular people just trying to take in the movie. I made my decision. Let's take the parking garage. It's the middle ground and no innocents. Okay, the call is made. We go with the middle ground. Pack up and head out. Okay, that's it for now. I have some stuff to do, but I'll be back later.